Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Original Comic Art Unboxing number 8, Raising Kane. So after my last one, I mentioned that my next one would be coming, not sure when, but soon. It should have come a lot sooner than today. Oh well, I apologize. I'm literally recording this right now as we speak at 9:09 Eastern Time on Saturday, January 13th. And hopefully this all goes well because I am hoping to premiere it on my channel in less than 2 hours from now. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. So why don't we all just get into it, all right? So this week, got a slightly larger than standard package. And given that it's something that I purchased, of course, nice. Sorry if you heard that. That's an email notification. I know what's inside already. It's not a gift. So, but I'm pretty excited to get it. So why don't we tear into this and see what we got. It appears to be pretty sturdy packaging, by the way. Let me tell you how thick it is. It appears to be 5 layers thick of the thinner corrugated cardboard. It's good and it's stiff, so it's I'm happy enough. But just as an FYI, always better to go with stiff, because you never know what's going to happen if it gets accidentally damaged, right? It's some kind of freak occurrence. It could get punctured, right? And if it gets punctured, well, imagine it gets punctured on the side that if you used 5 layers and it got punctured on the side that only had 2 layers, right? And your art gets damaged, you'd be thinking, shit, if the puncture had come in from the other side, it might not have quite touch the artwork because there was 3 layers. So always try to put 6 rather than 5 if you can. But yeah, other than that, like I said, pretty sturdy. Yeah, so you guys have seen, if you've hopefully looked at the title of the episode, it is indeed, and I repeated it loud as I came on air. It's called Raising Kane. And that's a play off of, but I spelled Kane a different way, in a way that you all will be more familiar with if you are comic book fans, which of course you are. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here listening to this right now. So that'll give you a really huge hint in terms of at least who drew what I'm going to pull out here. But then you're also probably wondering, what does Kane have to do with the background of your video thumbnail, right? And normally I would agree. I would say exactly, what the heck does Gil Kane have to do with, for those of you who don't know, the background, my thumbnail for this video, those characters, well, the one on the left, the older woman, doesn't really matter. She's a supporting character. The one on the right, her name is Mary Perkins. She's from the comic strip, the newspaper comic book strip, Mary Perkins on Stage. My favorite comic strip of all time, for the combination of both illustration quality and stories. Love the stories. All right. So I got this open, as I always do, in the format of like a book. And you guys can see the art is taped down. And one thing I want to mention is that when I got this at auction, and when I bid on this, my memory of it was that it was just a standard 11 by 17 board, bristle board that this was on. Apparently, I don't know if it was mentioned that it was larger, but it is indeed larger. So that's kind of a nice surprise. I don't always like larger art though, because then it becomes a bit of a pain to put into, to sort of store in a portfolio, because all my portfolios are usually 11 by 17. But every now and then it's kind of cool to get something that's significantly larger. And just it's nice to enjoy the art at a larger size, So this is the last piece. Yes, it is. I've got all 4 pieces off now. Let me take a sneak peek look at this before I show it to you all. Let me put this here. Okay. Wow, this is, oh God, this is so beautiful. So beautiful. Well, for me, a lot of you who only love superheroes are not going to appreciate this. I get it. You can tune out now if you want to. That's fine. I won't hold it against you, I promise. The only connection to superheroes is that Gil Kane is the artist and he did plenty of superheroes. Why are all these notifications happening while I'm recording a video? Sorry. So yeah, so this is really, really cool. Let me pull it out of the bag. And on stage, publication, 1960. Oh yeah, baby. Okay, so when I bid on this was at Heritage. And it said that it was Gil Kane, which was obvious to me anyways. But all it said was on stage model sheet. All right. And I was thinking, model sheet for on stage by Gil Kane? What Gil Kane never had anything to do with on stage. So I was like, why would he do a model sheet? But knowing how the researchers at Heritage are often wrong or don't do enough research, I thought maybe it's not a model sheet. Or maybe it is, because maybe at one point, maybe Leonard Starr, the creator, writer, and artist, maybe he was going to leave the series, or at least for a short while, and wanted a ghost artist to take over for him. But the syndicate maybe asked to see samples of the work, So I thought it could be that. And then the other mystery was it wasn't dated. And I couldn't really quite tell what period of Kane's work this was. I thought it had to be at least going back to the mid-'80s or earlier. And it could have been way earlier. And now, as I'm turning this page over and pulling it out of the bag, I see a piece of information that the good people at Heritage couldn't be bothered to turn it over and look at and add to the description. It says, on stage, let me see if I can get that. It's in pencil. On stage, Dell Publications, 1962. So not only does it give me the exact date, which is fantastic, and I love the fact that it's 1962 because that makes it really early. It's 5 years, only 5 years. The strip started in 1957. So he drew this only 5 years into the strip. And so that's fantastic. But it also tells me that it's Dell Publications. And I also happen to know that Dell, in 1962, once published a single issue of On Stage. Now that issue did not have art by Gil Kane, though. So that makes it kind of interesting. And it makes me wonder if they simply hired him because they thought he'd be good at model sheets. Perhaps he was a big fan of the On Stage strip and asked to be allowed to do the model sheet for the comic book. Or maybe he was considered to be the artist at one point. I believe the artist ultimately ended up being Mike Zakowski, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that, but I think that's who they went with. In any case, take a look at this. Let me put my plastic bag to the side. And for those of you still listening who don't know anything about Mary Perkins, let me show you. This is the cover of the first volume from Classic Comics Press, owned by Charles Pelto, a one-man shop who took the monumental task of producing 15 volumes of Mary Perkins on Stage. You can see the thickness of this. This is one of the thinner volumes. This was the first volume. And yeah, he completed the entire series, a 22-year newspaper strip run, which was just phenomenal. So the fact that this can be had, and most of the volumes are currently out of print, but he occasionally puts them back into print. But yeah, it's all in black and white, just like it was in the newspapers. So really fantastic. The best newspaper strip read I've ever had in my life. Love it. My favorite strip. All 15 volumes. If I ever have to go into a deserted isle and can only take one run of comics, I will be taking these 15 volumes. Nothing super heroic. That's how much I loved it. There you go. As I said earlier, another notification. Nice. Thanks for ruining this, jackasses. Yeah, this strip was created, written and drawn by Leonard Starr. And yeah, this is the only piece I'm aware of in existence related to On Stage, not drawn by him. So, with that being said, let me show you from far. First of all, this is the model sheet. Really quite large. It appears to be, I don't know. Why don't we measure it real quick? It appears to be on a board measuring around 14.5 by about 22. So pretty awesome. And here, let me show you close up what some of these pieces are. And it's so fantastic because half of the images, half of the illustrations are fully penciled and inked by Kane, while half of them are in pure pencil form from 1962. So various scenes from stories or potential stories. So there you go. Really lovely. And it was, for those of you familiar with the strip, he clearly was trying to stay in keeping with Leonard Starr's style. So that's really, really nice. There's another great shot of Mary in a beautiful, beautiful dress. And there's her initial boyfriend and quick to become husband, Pete. Right there at the bottom. There you go. So yeah, really fantastic. I like I said, the fact that it's one of my favorite Silver Age and favorite comic book artists of all time, Gil Kane, makes this just so unique and so extra special to somebody like me who loves, just simply adores Mary Perkins on Stage. Yeah, so this is just such a cool piece to have for my collection. And it's not a comic strip, but it's not a comic book piece of work either. So it's somewhere in between. And yeah, I just absolutely adore this. A great, great piece. So super stoked to have this. And I felt I was willing to pay a lot more than it ended up costing me. So that's another bonus. And that's it. So thank you all, as always, for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate your support all the time. And I just want to quickly tell you guys that tomorrow night, Sunday night, at my usual time, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific. Check this out. I will be doing Comic Art Show and Tell number 34 with my friend Eric B. Should be a lot of fun. It's going to be quite a bit of both Sean Gordon Murphy as well as J. Scott Campbell art, because that's those are his two loves. So if you're fans of those two guys, you're going to not want to miss this for sure. So I appreciate it, everybody. Thank you so much. And tune in for that. And I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.